Hello, everyone. We are live with another episode of the Embracing Joy podcast. And I have a very special guest with us today, and we're discussing a very important topic, which is reclaiming time and thriving as a physician mom. And we have an expert, Dr. Cindy Van Praag. I hope I pronounced that correctly. You
You
can
did.
correct Cindy Van Praag. So it's such a pleasure to have her on today. I'm going to tell you all a little bit about her. Um, she is both a practicing anesthesiologist and she's the founder of the Inspired Mom MDs, which is a virtual coaching practice where she helps physician moms take back control of their time and energy so that they can prioritize what matters most and thrive both at work and at home. She's double board certified in integrative medicine and anesthesiology, and she's nationally board certified in health and wellness coaching after earning her certificate in integrative health and wellness coaching. Wow. So that's unique for a physician, right? So I would like you to add anything about kind of what inspired that path for you. Um, yeah, because
Sure.
it's kind of a unique path that you've taken.
Right. I veered off the anesthesia path. Well, first, thank you for having me on your program. I so
Mhm.
appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. It's
So,
a pleasure.
yeah, and congratulations because I hear you are a new physician mom and you joined the club.
Yes. Yes, I have a 6 month old now, and it's just, it's a whole different world.
hmm Yeah,
Mhm.
so congratulations. Okay,
Thank
so to
you.
answer your question, yeah. Oh, yeah, so you read all my academic achievements and all of the boxes that I checked, but I'm also a mom of two teenagers, so I'm a
Mhm.
little bit ahead of you. One is 18 and one is 16, and they are really what kind of have driven my path in medicine and away from medicine in the past, maybe 5, 6, 7 years,
Mhm.
because I realize that um, as they get older, you realize you don't have as much time with them, and I could see how much time I was pouring into medicine and how much it was depleting me. And I'm sure we're going to get to that.
Mhm.
But wanting to spend more time with my family was part of the reason why I veered into the coaching world, because
Mhm.
I could spend more time at home and more time with them in the house and me in the house. Like they're in the other room right now, which is pretty amazing. When I'm in the operating room,
Mhm.
I can't even call them. So
Mhm.
my family is really what kind of steered my change of direction away from anesthesia. Although I still practice, but not as much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because you can do more than just, you can practice anesthesia, but in a different way that's conducive to your life and your family, which
Yes,
I'm sure
definitely.
is something that you encourage all these other moms to do. So we usually
Mhm.
start out with a short warm up game, and it's called Convergence. It's an improv game where you just we both say on the count of three, the first word that is the top of mind,
Okay.
and then we'll continue doing that in series until we can say the same word. So if
Mhm.
I say kite, you say water, and then we try to come up with something that connects the two, like say
Okay.
beach or something that connects the two. You ready?
Got it.
All right. So on the count of three, one, two, three. TV. I don't know why that's
Sunshine.
I don't know why TV was on my head, but TV and sunshine. Okay,
Yeah.
something that connects TV and sunshine together,
Mm, okay.
um, but not too specific. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, because I was thinking Teletubbies, and I was like, that's too specific. They have the little baby sunshine. Okay, so let's
It's
see if we
true.
can come up with something. Okay, let's see. Vacation.
I think morning.
Morning. Okay, so
Hmm
something that connects morning and vacation.
hmm
Ready? Okay.
hmm
One, two, three. Sunrise.
Croissant.
It's
Oh,
on.
I almost said
Oh,
sunrise.
Okay, that's why it's good to say
Yeah.
the first, that very little first thing.
Croissant.
Okay,
Yeah.
croissant and sunrise. Okay, something
Hmm.
that connects those two together, croissant and sunrise.
Mm.
Breakfast,
Savor.
savor. Okay, you can savor a breakfast. So I think
Hmm.
that's I think
Hmm.
that's as close as we're probably gonna get with that game.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game to sometimes we are able to get the exact same words and kind of feel like you're reading each other's minds.
Hmm.
But it's a nice warmer startup to get our creative mind flowing. So
Yeah.
let's start with your questions, Doctor.
Okay.
So there's a lot of high achieving women because our podcast is not just for physicians, but physicians are a big chunk of high achieving women, right?
Right.
But they may struggle with pressure to do it all perfectly, especially in medicine. But how did you personally begin to redefine what success looked like for you as both a physician and a mom because you were able to make these changes and see success differently?
Right.
Yeah.
Great question.
Mhm.
And you're right. This doesn't just, what I'm saying doesn't just apply to physician moms, but it's really all high achieving women. You're so right about that. But for the longest time, yes, I was one of those women who thought they could do it all. And I really truly thought I could. I grew up seeing what my mom did and my grandma, and like, I can do, not that their life wasn't great, but I'm like, I can do more. I have more privilege. I'm in medical school. I can, I have more resources. I can do it
Mhm.
all. And I really did think I could, and I tried. And so I measured my success by more external achievements. So
Mhm.
I would measure it by my degree. Okay, I graduated undergrad and I got my medical school and I did, so you're checking off those boxes.
Mhm.
And then I would measure success by, okay, I wanted two kids. And so and by such and such a time in my life. And I did that. Thankfully, I was blessed to do that.
Mhm.
And so that those were other boxes to check. And even as a partner, as with my husband, I'm like, okay, I got married. That's what I wanted to do. So these were all things on my mental timeline that I thought meant success in life. And I kept checking off the boxes.
Mhm.
And that was my measure. Um, and then I realized when I supposedly had it all, right? I had, I was throwing birthday parties for the kids and just doing all the things. I was exhausted
Mhm.
and just like something was missing. And I didn't realize that success isn't about doing it all. It's
Mhm.
about what actually matters. So for example, I was on call on a Saturday and my son had just, hit the counter and had a little opening, and because I'm a doctor, I fixed it at home. I put steri strips and it was fine.
Mhm.
But I came home from being on call and he's jumping in the pool. This is less than 24 hours after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you can't do that,
Mhm.
but I wasn't there. And if I had been there, then it wouldn't have happened. And he healed fine, but
Mhm.
it's just like, oh my gosh, my job is taking away from my role as a mom. And for me, what mattered more was my role as a mom. And
Mhm.
that was one of those light bulb moments, like, oh, I have my priorities all wrong. And
Mhm.
success is not that, I took an extra call and brought a little bit more home on the paycheck.
Mhm.
Success would have been that I kept my kid out of the pool that day and it would have healed maybe, it's the
Mhm.
family, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but in that incident, it also sounds like you had a little bit of guilt about that, but it's not
mhm,
necessary, it's not necessary that that would have been the case, that he would have not jumped in the pool. Kids like to jump in the pool.
right,
But definitely, you being there may have made a difference, but there's no, you know,
true.
yeah, yeah,
True.
right.
It's, yeah, you're speaking to the I should have, I could have,
Yeah,
yeah, I hear you.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I see that that priority, like, that you would have had to, it's just nice to have more time with your family,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
yes.
as a mom, because you have different roles throughout your life, right? Like your role as a physician, your role as a mom, and you're balancing between the two.
True. And they do shift as you get older. And I
Mhm.
don't mean to say that, it should always be my role as a mom comes first, or my, role as a physician, or my role as a wife comes first.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
a blend, and it's just kind of, it's what matters most right then. And
Mhm.
it's following that direction each day. And so that's how I measure my success now. And it's not about checking off boxes, and
Mhm.
it's feeling aligned with my daily schedule,
Mhm.
and creating space for connection for my family, as I've talked about a lot, but also with myself, and
Mhm.
letting myself, replenish my own energy and connect with myself about what do I want out of life. We're allowed to ask, what do we want out of life, not what does everybody else need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, that it's tough. Like, so many different women are, your schedule may not, you may feel like your schedule doesn't allow you that flexibility. Like, what would you say to someone who, well, I guess their schedule may allow them some flexibility, but they may not see that in the beginning.
Mhm.
How did you make that transition?
Right. So for me, I had to cut back on work,
Hmm.
and I had to cut back hours.
Hmm.
Um, and not that that's the right answer for everybody. And so when I had more time for myself, then I was able to have more of a choice of what I did with that time. And so but you don't always need more time. It's also how you prioritize the time that you have.
Hmm.
So you maybe prioritizing your time to check the boxes, or you can reprioritize your time to boost your energy and take care of yourself and take care of your family. So it's a matter of what you do with the time you have, because it's finite, and it's a juggling game of finding, of assigning what you want to your hour each day,
Hmm.
towards what matters. So if I want to work, it's because that's important to me, so I can bring home, a paycheck to sustain my family. But
Hmm.
that's not my be all end all. So, and that's my choice, because I value caring for my family. And so it's just like, it's that decision over and over throughout the day.
Hmm. Wow. So, can you share a moment where, well, let's talk a little bit about energy management over time management. And can you share a moment when you shifted from managing your time to more managing your energy, and how that made a difference in your life or your joy?
Right. So managing my time used to be about, getting more done and trying to do it all, like we were just talking about. Um, Managing my energy is different, because uh, it's about sparing my energy. It's about what boosts my energy, not getting things done. So I kind of flip the script of, well, what can I get done in this time that will help me feel restored, rather than just checking off boxes.
Mhm.
And for me, that meant, picking moments that I could rest without guilt. I used to feel just, what's the word? Resentful of other people when they would say, I'm going to go to a movie, or I'm going to go read a book. And I'd be like, you're what? And then I would feel almost resentful. I'd be like, good for you, but I wish I could do that. And
Mhm.
the shift is, I can do that, and I
Mhm.
do that now. And it did take time to learn to do that without the guilt, I'll have to say.
Mhm.
Um, so there wasn't a particular moment when I started thinking that way. It was a gradual change,
Mhm.
into picking things that protected my energy.
Was there a decision that you made to start working towards that, or what was the uh, initial moment where you started working towards that?
I think, yeah. So I think if there's like a pivot or a turning point,
Turning
it would
point.
be be, uh, it would probably be when I was burned out in medicine and coming home exhausted, and I could see the effect that my energy was having on my family.
Mhm.
So it's like I could almost picture like I would have this gray cloud around me of just tension and like anxiety and just exhaustion, and I'd walk in the door thinking that I could contain that and be normal and happy, but there was a point I can distinctly remember in the kitchen that I could tell that my negativeness was affecting my kids.
Mhm.
And they were, gosh, in junior high at the time or so, and they would just be like, yeah, they would just have a look about them like, oh, okay, mommy, maybe you should go take a bath. Like, like, why are my kids telling me to chill out? So, and and I realized I can't take all of this on myself and bring this dark cloud home with me and think that it's not going to affect my family. And so that was one distinct memory when I thought, okay, I need to choose how I use my time. I can choose how I show up for my family. And if that means taking care of myself so I can show up a better mom, then that's what it's going to be. And so since then, I think those gradual changes have happened. And I think I'm a different mom than that in the.
I'm sure you're a different mom, and you radiate joy and positivity now. I can, see that off of you. So I'm
Oh, thank
sure,
you.
I'm sure your kids experience that. So with that being said, many physician moms feel really guilty for prioritizing themselves or their happiness. What do you say to the mom that feels like joy is a luxury that she can't afford? And how can she start to reclaim it today? Like,
Yeah.
mhm.
To that mom, I would say, or anybody, any high achieving woman who feels
Mhm.
guilty about prioritizing themselves, that I see you and I understand the depth of that guilt, and that joy, it may feel like a luxury, but that feeling does not make it a fact.
Mhm.
So joy is not a luxury. I think of it like a vital sign. So
Mhm.
it's something you can detect when you have it, and you can detect it in other people too. Like I think you said, I'm hoping you're detecting my joy.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a really powerful thing to take back control of, especially for high achieving women in healthcare, because they're brought up in this system which trains the opposite. It says that self care is something to feel bad about, or self neglect means you're a better person. I didn't sleep all night, and they'd be like, "Wow, you're a great doctor," or I took someone's extra shift and skipped my kids' play, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's amazing." And you're just brought up with an entire different mindset.
Mhm.
And so I think that's how I thought too. And now I realize that, oh gosh, joy is something completely different than what we thought it was. And so what I would say to that person who's feeling guilty about prioritizing themselves and what they can do today is that they don't have to wait. They don't have to wait for vacation. They don't have to wait for, oh, next week when I have half a day off of work on Friday. They
Mhm.
can start today. And they can start with 5 minutes. And that can be something that anything, what they can, think, what is something that you do that makes you feel you? What
Mhm.
gives you your groove? So, like for me, I love to laugh. And I would pick, and as much as Facebook is a time suck, there's some really funny people on Facebook. So sometimes I go on and watch some of those reels and I just laugh and laugh and laugh, and that's me.
Mhm.
And it just rejuvenates. So what is something for you, like what is something that you do that you could do quickly in 5 minutes today that makes
Mhm.
you feel you and brings back some of your joy? So that's what I would suggest to that
Oh,
person. They could do that today.
yeah, now. Do it now after
Do
this
it
video.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, do it now. Yeah, I love that. I think laughter is such good medicine. So, finding those things that bring you joy or laughter or that make you feel and you can do it for a few minutes a day, and I think that's so powerful. So, with that being said, this was a great conversation with you, Dr. Prague. But we're going to do our wrap up questions. So, who is a model of joy for you and who is a model of joy in your life? And that could be someone that you know personally, that could be a celebrity, that could be whoever, and why.
So my first thought is a woman. Her name is Terry.
Hmm.
She's like my second mom, and I'm gonna have to send her this link.
Hmm.
Um, I've known her since I was about 4 years old. Her daughter is my age, so we've been friends all of these years, and I'm over 50 now.
Hmm.
So that woman laughs and radiates joy, and she is just she's like my second mom. She's just always there and always proud and and just always has a wise word for me. So she is a role model for me, and that's who I think of. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, we definitely would send this to her. So
Mhm.
we also ask, what are the top three ingredients? So these are metaphorical ingredients. So
Mhm.
say like self-compassion, laughter, whatever. What are the top three ingredients for joy in your cake of joy?
In my cake of joy.
Yeah.
Um, so anytime I think of cake, I think of dark chocolate
Hmm.
because it's my favorite.
Hmm.
Um, I think laughter
Hmm.
because it's just essential. And then when I think of cake, I think of sprinkles. I don't know why. So that's
Hmm.
what my cake would be made of.
Sprinkles, laughter, and dark chocolate. Sounds very
Yeah,
yummy.
yeah,
So,
that's perfect.
perfect. Yeah, perfect for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So with that being said, those are our wrap up questions. How can the audience find you? So I know they can find you on your website, inspiredmommds.com.
Hmm.
They can also find you on LinkedIn at your name, Cindy Van Prague, and also you're on YouTube as well,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The Inspired Mom MDs. Yeah.
Inspired Mom MDs on YouTube. Okay, wonderful. This has been such a great conversation. I truly enjoyed it. And oh, it looks like we have some comments too. Let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, joy can feel like a luxury, and that's so true. And she likes like reframing as a vital sign. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not. So definitely start today.
Hmm.
So thank you everyone for listening, watching. Please share this episode with a friend and tune in. Subscribe so that you'll be notified of our future episodes. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.